have, there's a lag on the law, right? And to some degree, I mean, Cynet prides itself on the innovation and the countermeasures and the building of that, right? The belt and suspenders and building that into it. But at some point, you have also, I don't want to say reactive, but there is a reactive component to building countermeasures that are addressing a zero-day threat or something else or something that's maturing in there. There's a gap there too, and how you I guess, how are you addressing that to be as effective as possible for the client?
Yeah. So first of all, connecting to what Rebecca said, I think that the law and the technology and CISOs and basically all of us are adapting to what threat actors are currently doing. And they are the first to adapt new technologies, new capabilities, and anything new out there they can give them the edge, they will use it. Now, the way we see it, and I think the way everybody sees it, is that any day there will be something new. There can be a new vulnerability and a new way to get in any day. And if you're going again to a MITRE and the example that we gave with the ransomware, which is the cherry on top, there has been probably 20, 30, 40, 50, even more steps before this has happened to get to this point. So even with a new vulnerability that no one knows about, if we're using multiple layers to make sure that we're protecting each step of the kill chain, then we're making sure that we can get the threat actors. So they might go through the first layer, but hey, there's another one here to catch them. And it affects the impact. It really affects the impact and the outcome of the incident.
Nice. So you mentioned this, the CISO, and here's where Angelo gets teed up, because I think he and I had a great discussion as CISOs are, I guess this is the epiphany, CISOs become the, what's the word? The
Pinata.
The pinata for the company, right?
Cyber risk pinata.
Cyber risk pinata. So there's a lag in the law. There's a lag in the countermeasure to catch up to whatever the threat is. Tag, you're it. Where do you go for that? And then in the last closing remarks on this topic.
It is a very difficult road blade to walk on, because the issue at hand comes down to you need to have an information coming in at you both ways. You need a Rebecca saying, hey, you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware of this. She needs to kind of know your business. You need to know your business. And then you need a Ronen and his team to be giving you information on what's happening in the business. But the end goal of this is not to be here, open to work. You really want to be at a point where you're bringing risk to the executives, to the board, and delivering a profile which says, listen, I have a tool, a service, a program, or something that can help reduce this risk by X. Because if you're just trying to put a tool in place, it's not gonna be effective. But you need to look at the problem, look at the solution, and need to look at the delivery. And when you do that, you can effectively deliver on a goal which helps you get to that 80% mark, that 90% mark. Because you are not going to reach 100. Please get that out of your mind. And you're not going to be available 24/7 because you will die. So the reality is you need to have something in place which gives you the ability to look at, react, wake you up and say, hey, this is where we're at and this is what's going. And so without that, and this is what I think CISOs end up being a CISO a few times. The first couple of times, it's like you're a new employee. You're getting used to what you're doing. You're getting understanding how you do it, and you're delivering what you believe is what you're supposed to be doing. And then sooner or later, you end up realizing is what you really need to illustrate is the risk profiles of the organization. What risks the organization have, and how you can help reduce that risk in a monetary sense by investment versus reward, because that's the end goal. Is you need to show the risk, assign the risk, and deliver a solution, or at least propose a solution that the executive or the business organization can make a decision on. If you start getting into the other channels, you will end up with gray hair, and then you end up, later on learning from your mistakes. Stop touching the hot stove. Stop. Don't touch it.